When we're on podcast mode, I feel this obligation to be entertaining. That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I would have felt bad if that was the case, because then I would have been like, shit, I wasn't being very entertaining.
And welcome, everybody. We're here to review another episode of the Nine. I don't know why my brain blanked on that. Nine, Season 1, Episode 6. Just Episode 6 this time.
No way. We're just doing the episode that we plan to do?
You don't have to be sarcastic. We all know you just... Yes, we're reviewing the episode that was planned, okay? Not me jumping ahead because I wanted to know something. I warned you last week that I was thinking about doing that. I don't know why you didn't take that as me being literal. Then I even let you know that it happened. It wasn't like it was a secret.
It was a secret.
And then I offered to not talk about it, and no, you wanted to go watch it.
Mm-hmm. I did my best.
That was all on you.
I thought I should make an old college try, you know?
Why is the college old?
Why not?
I would consider this a bit, but I didn't even start any of this. I just kind of said words, and the words got.
Sometimes it's a bit, and sometimes it's kind of a lot, you know?
Okay, so we're here to talk about episode 6 of Nine. As always, things are shown, and things are foretold. Things are shown, and then some things happen that I wasn't expecting. At the very beginning of this episode, but really quick, what am I scrolling down for? This is the characters page. Jeez. Episode review, and then episode 6, mini gifts. Is the 6th episode of the first season of Nine. The Nine seek out a notorious smuggler in Zadash called the Gentleman, who can provide them with protection against Volstrucker assassins on one condition: they must procure an ancient treasure for him, but they must learn to work together or face deadly consequences. Sounds like a Saturday night cartoon episode. So yes, they have to go. They're looking to
consequences. It's time to face the deadly consequences. Beware my consequences.
As you were doing that, I was trying to think about the villain from Inspector Gadget. I could not think about. I was drawing a blank.
I'll get you
Dr.
next
Claw.
time, Gadget. Next time.
That's not. Dr. Claw. Okay, so it was Dr. Claw.
Do you like my Dr. Claw?
Oh, so
Hello,
you were
Dr. Dr. Claw. What?
No, so you were doing a Dr. Claw. I was like, what the hell? It's funny how Dr. Claw's name.
No, I wasn't. I was just trying to sound demonic.
But like, he doesn't really have a claw. It's just a gauntlet on his hand that apparently has a gold ring on it and a gold bracelet. Yeah, we are. That was an awkward silence. My fault. I apologize. Okay, episode 6, mini gifts. So really quick, at the beginning of the episode, we kind of get more of Yasha, which is really weird because I thought from that YouTube short I saw that Yasha was not gonna show up again in this season. But apparently maybe this was the 6 seconds that they were talking about how she was just included for a couple minutes or a couple seconds, and then she's gonna have a lot more of a role next season, which is strange, which makes me kind of curious. Like, she shows up as a dash at the end of the episode, and then that's it. I'm very confused. Like, are they somehow gonna avoid her the entire time while she's walking around Zadash? I mean, and that's not me asking a question. I'm just trying to. It just seems really strange that she's made it. But according to what I've been hearing, she's not gonna play a role at all in the first season. So I don't know. It just, maybe I'm misinterpreting what they're telling me. But yeah, we get introduced to Yasha. I guess like, not like, you know, we don't get fully introduced to her, but we do get a chance to meet her a little bit and see what she's about. In the very beginning of the freaking episode, she kind of just like murders an entire factory line of people digging a moat, and she just kind of walks up and just starts killing everybody looking for something. I completely forgot about, but like, what I wrote here is interesting background. She's also called the Orphan Maker, which is scary. Yasha is interesting, especially what looks to be a mind controlling brand on the back of her neck. I think that's a mind controlling thing on the back of her neck. It seems like it's mind controlling kind of, because it keeps on lighting up when it tells her to do something, which I find intriguing. I guess we'll learn a little bit more about her next season from the sounds of it. But
what do you mean? I don't remember it lighting up. What lights up? I'm sorry.
The back of her neck, the brand.
Oh, her neck?
What neck were you
Really?
think I was talking about?
Now I don't know what you're talking about. When does it light up?
It's very beginning of the episode when she's like talking to that thing and it's telling her to do things. Am I wrong?
I might just be really dumb. I feel pretty dumb right now. Let me call up the episode and see if I can find it.
Man, I'm looking at it really slowly. Hopefully this is not showing up on... Oh, yes it is. Well, I guess it's too late now. They definitely let me know there's Ashley Johnson, which, by the way, how are they paying these people? Maybe that's why it's taking a year.
Oh, you can't just click on Amazon and mute the thing. You have to manually slide the volume all the way down. That's stupid.
No, I think I can click on it. I'm probably not. Never mind. Yeah, the little brand on the back of her neck glows. It glows a pink aura. It might be fuchsia more, but like, kind of like her heterochromic, one of her heterochromic eyes has the same color that the back of her neck is glowing. Like they're like it's right there. Hold up, let me get a, get a still of it actually really quick. Yeah, it glows. It's like it's during when Yasha and like well, I was about to kill that woman. Well, when she takes her helmet off, and it reminds her of this girl in her past. Like you see the back of her neck where her hair is parted, that the brand on the back of her neck is like glowing. I have 3:15 as a timestamp.
All right, let me see. Oh yeah, I focused right on it, but for some reason I don't remember that at all.
But it only really glows when it's trying to get her to do something, which is that old man that we're seeing. I don't get the connection between him and that brand on her neck, but I guess we'll find out later what that connection is. Because it seems like he must. I mean, he's telling her to go get something for him, so it's obvious like she's killing people to get something for him specifically. But yeah, like Yasha seems interesting enough. Like again, the very few seconds, the very small amount of times we get a chance to see her, she's definitely in the action and in the thick of it. Like they're really trying to get you intrigued by her.
Yeah, but they haven't told us anything. It's all been pure teasers so far.
Yeah, they're trying to get you intrigued by her. Like I said before, I don't really. It's really shocking because I thought maybe from the way I was hearing, we were not going to see her again until the next season, which was very shocking to me when we did see her again. I'm like, and then at the end of the episode, she's there again, almost like she's going to show up in the dash. So I don't know what people were talking about when she wasn't there. I mean, you know more about this because you already seen the entire season, but I'm very confused. Like what do they mean that she's not gonna like have an appearance? Why bother teasing her in the first episode? Just to not have her show up again for an entire season. Now I'm like, well, she's shown here again. So what's the big idea? So I don't know. Like maybe that short that I saw wasn't completely 100% true, or I misinterpreted something that they were saying. But well, whatever. The little bit we get to see her, we see her fighting ability, and it's she got a giant sword that she can apparently handle one-handed. Completely kills everybody. Kills the horse. That poor horse didn't deserve that, by the way. That poor horse just got his leg torn off. I'm like, why the horse? It didn't do anything. It was just following a command. I do like how she pretty much like the guys like when they see her, they're like, it's the orphan maker. The vultures are following her, and then and he's like, the captain who's making them work is like, it's just a woman. I was like, geez, this is gonna end well for him, is it? Calls her just a woman, and he charges her with a javelin and a horse, and she kills she pretty much like cripples the horse, and then kills him with his own weapon. It was like, geez, like she didn't miss that time. Totally impaled him in the head. Then after that, and then after that goes and decimates all the rest of the people there.
Of expertise required to do all that shit too.
I mean, she's a barbarian. I'm not sure what skills she would have had. Obviously, maybe some of that would have been luck. I had no idea.
That's the thing, though. Like barbarians are not known to have that much talent.
She could be a mix of something. I don't know. Hey, she may not even be a freaking barbarian. Somebody said a berserker, but I don't know much about berserker classes. And she doesn't seem all that mad. She seems more just mind controlled than mad. But I mean, those could be the exact same thing. Who knows? And like, I mean, but yeah, I mean, she's been fighting for a while. I mean, she's been walking around. She's got a name for herself. People know her as the Orphan Maker. Which, by the way, to get that name means you have been creating lots of parentless children throughout your wake to be known as the Orphan Maker.
Mm-hmm.
She makes you an orphan. Stay away from her. That's ridiculous. Like, good Lord, like, how long has she been doing this? First of all, and then second of all, where did that name come from? Because like, I need to know like who in the world decided that was the name that was gonna stick. But yeah, she's been doing this apparently long enough. So I mean, the expertise was probably garnered. I probably also think she knocked it in the air and she knew exactly where it was gonna land. I'm guessing, and made sure that he was in the direction. Either that or made it so that he needed to dodge in that direction. Yeah, I don't know. It was just the impalement.
I think she knew he was going to dodge in that direction. I think she planned that way, that far ahead. Honestly,
I don't know. I don't want to believe that because of like, good Lord, like that's insane.
But of course, that's how it happened, though.
Right? I want to attribute it to luck. That's what happened.
Like, I mean, that was the setup, though, because then she was like, haha, you missed me. And then it was like, you know.
But she didn't say, no, I didn't. Because if she had said, no, I didn't, and then he got impaled, then I was, okay, well, yeah, she did it on purpose. He just opened his big mouth because he thought he got away. Not thinking, not even realizing that his spear was still in the air, which is still ironic, by the way, because she knocked it in the air, like crippled the horse. The horse went down. He went tumbling in the direction of the direction of where the spear was going to land, or the lance was going to land. He didn't have his magic helmet either. He probably dodged it. But yeah, then she decimates the rest of the army, and then as she's about to kill the young lady...
Why are you making fun of my helmet? We're just going to pretend like you didn't make fun of my helmet?
And then she approaches the young lady.
Jesus.
All I said was that it's funny he didn't have his magic helmet. He probably could have dodged it. That's all I said. Why you gotta take it that way, man? Just a sentence I said. But as she's about to kill the woman, she begs her to spare her life. And then apparently Yasha, like, I wouldn't say recognized her, but more like was reminded of somebody in her past, apparently, who had similar hair color. Though I feel like the woman in Yasha's memory, hair was a little bit brighter than the woman that she was staring at. But I guess it was just more like she reminded her of whoever that woman was. Only for some elderly dude in her memory or whatever that in a ghost form saying that I thought she wanted to be rid of these memories, which is very interesting. I wonder why she wanted to be rid of those memories. I wonder if she's dead, or there's some other reason why she wouldn't want to be, or there's some other reason why she wouldn't be, not reminded of her. Then she sheaves her sword, which is bad. I mean, I guess that's the best outcome. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm not sure like why she will want to not be reminded, because she was legitimately reminded just at that minute of her. So like, I wonder like why she wouldn't want to be reminded of her at all. Something tragic happened to those two. Then this old dude is saying, I thought you wouldn't be rid of these, and then like, find my prize. She asks her like, where this place is, and then she says it's over there in the dash. And it seems like Yasha's gonna spare her, only for the emblem in the back of her neck to glow again, and she crushes her head. And then she moves on in that direction. I didn't think
she was gonna spare her. I think she kept her alive because she was useful to her for a little bit longer.
I think she was gonna spare because she sheathed her sword. What was the point of that? It made absolutely no sense to sheath the sword if she was not going to spare her. Because if anything, it's not like she needed that particular person to get the information. She could have wandered someplace else to get the information she was needed. It didn't seem like it really mattered who gave it to her. To me, it's like, I think she was going to spare her, and then that little emblem on the back caused her to do it, caused her to end her life, because that's what the directive is, or whatever's going on with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just I want to believe that she was going to spare her based off of everything that she just did there. The pause, and then her kneeling to her, you know, speaking to her and stuff like that. It just seemed like all unnecessary. She just scared her and then killed her immediately. She didn't do any of that. Well, I mean, she did scare her, but I mean, was it like in front of her face? She could have scared her much easier than she chose to not do that at that point. That was pretty much the end of Yasha. There, we're gonna see. I'm guessing she's gonna show up. There's gonna be more of her next episode. I don't know. Because at the end of the episode, we see Yasha again, and then she's like, right. She's
What
like
do you
right
think
at the
the
entrance.
point of that character is?
What, Yasha? Or the old man? I'm very confused on what you're asking the question towards.
The character, like, what is the function of the of this character from like a writer's perspective? Like, what is she there to do?
She's there to retrieve something. I mean, that much is obvious. I think her function is just to run into these guys, and then for her to befriend one of them, and her to join the group. Because I mean, as far as I'm aware, I think she's supposed to be a part of the Mighty Nine. I'm not sure when that happens, but I think she's supposed to be a part of the group.
I get that she's part of their group, but like, I can't believe it. It's like ridiculous.
She was a character created by Ashley Johnson. I don't
know why I'm calling it ridiculous. What I'm trying to say is like, the character is just ridiculously overpowered and a complete beast. And to me, it's like a complete mystery as to like what her role in the storyline is. You know,
oh, she's really overpowered. She's literally only fought minions. They're little like underpowered dudes. She looks underpowered she looks overpowered because she's been fighting relatively weak people up to this point. You haven't seen her in a real combat situation where somebody is obviously really powerful. Like maybe she was there for like the devil thing, the devil frog. Maybe then I would have made the argument that maybe she is overpowered if she managed to kill it in one swing, which it looks like she probably could for all intents and purposes. Based on what I'm gonna say, like I'm not thinking she's overpowered because she hasn't really fought anything that I would say you would think would be considered a challenge for her, but then she completely mops the floor with them. I'm more of this thing, maybe this is the starting class. Again, I don't know what Ashley Johnson's like idea for this character is supposed to be, because again, we really only seen a little bit of her, like you said earlier. I know that the person who made her was apparently in and out of this campaign a lot because she had obligations she had to handle. So like at some point she manages to like stick around long enough to be a part of the campaign. So I'm guessing the in and out nature of her character here and the mystery behind her is representative of when she was capable of being at the table or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing she's meant to be powerful right now until like do something to make her weaker, or either that or they give you an enemy that's stronger than she is. As to the purpose of his character, I don't know. Sometimes, I guess when I speak in anime terms, typically the purpose of characters that are really overpowered is they're mostly seated in situations where they're going to teach like the main character some things about the world that they're in, and the universe that they've been walked into, and eventually the character they're teaching starts becoming stronger than they are. But I don't think that's the purpose of Yasha here. because she seems relatively like, you know, she's just doing something because she's been told to, and I guess she's getting something out of it. Who knows? But I don't really see her as overpowered, like I would think overpowered is. But it really depends. Again, I don't really know the world of D&D all that much. You know it better than I do. So, I mean, if you say she's
I don't know
overpowered,
the world of D&D that great, but to have a character that just can come in and slice through people like they're butter is like,
have you seen that sword? Have you seen those biceps?
I don't know, being able to use that thing in the first place is a feat, isn't it?
I mean, realistically speaking, a sword that big wouldn't be usable, but I mean, I don't know if it's really, I mean, because you got characters like Cloud Strife who use a giant sword. And like, I mean, compared to her, he looks kind of wimpy, and he's still able to swing that thing around. And I guess like,
I don't
also
know,
being,
like, can you, like, do you know what it would take to slice through, like, a fucking horse the long way in a single blow?
I mean, the muscle strength first, and then the sharp side of the blade. If you know how to use anything, I mean, if you know how to use any cutting utensil, you can cut anything. As long as you know where to cut. Yeah, I don't know how strong or I don't know how muscular a horse's shoulder is either. So I don't know. It's like for me, it's like I don't think she's overpowered. I mean, now that I will say, like, I'm gonna reserve full judgment on that until she does more stuff in the future. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if, like, honestly, like, her cutting through that army is really a show of her strength at all. But she didn't really seem all that bothered by it. I don't know if that really has anything to do with, like, if she's overpowered or not. I think maybe the people that she was fighting are just like, just not as strong as she is. I don't think you understand.
I don't think there's a real human being in the real world alive that can take. First of all, that probably can wield a weapon that size, and second of all, that could take anything, even like a chainsaw, and cut through a horse in one shot like that.
D&D is a fictional universe. Nothing in there. I'm aware of a sword that size you cannot really realistically wield unless there's like 2 or 3 people wielding it. But even that's not, like, that's not the word convenient. That's not realistically a viable weapon in combat unless you're really strong, like a strongman or something like that. Again, I don't know the strength of a horse's tendons so that they would take the cut. I'm just saying, I'm basing off the humans that she was taking down, and they didn't seem all that powerful. If she had, like, say, like, taken down an archmage with a sword, and she did it really easily when she shouldn't have been able to do that, then maybe. But like, she was taking down soldiers that I don't even think were, like, past level 1. Like, that dude that she impaled might have been like level 2 or 3. I don't think they were really all that powerful.
You're thinking in game rules right now. And I'm thinking in the real world. I'm saying that, like, a horse is a tough thing to cut through. It's not just fur and meat. It's like bone. It's the thick bones of a quadruped, like beast of burden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't put real life into fantasy. I think I said this multiple times to multiple people. I don't really. If I wanted to think about real life, I would stay in it. I wouldn't, like, equate it to anything that in the fantasy world. I mean, yeah, you do take some things in the real world to make something in the fantasy world the best you can in comparison, but, like, you don't incorporate the real world into it because, like, once you start doing that, what you run into is, like, stuff like this shouldn't be possible, or you know, like, the fun just completely goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have fun if you're thinking about things in the real world because stuff you do in a fantasy universe are not physically possible. They're just not. You know, there's a reason why it's a fantasy world versus the real world. Because I understand that a horse, you know, like, I mean, the horse is definitely a real world item, and I have said I don't really understand, like, the tendons like that, or, like, I'm not talking about fur and meat. I'm just saying I I don't really know the depth or whatever like that it would take to cut a horse's leg off. I'm pretty sure someone's done it. I'm pretty sure someone's.
Have you ever like? I don't know. Have you ever like? I don't know, cooked like a rib roast or something.
No.
Or ribs. Have you ever tried to like cut some ribs apart before cooking them?
Nope.
It's like you need your sharpest, biggest knife, and you have to saw at it. And if you don't have the perfect lineup with the cartilage, like it's just not going to happen. Cutting through bone is like extremely difficult to do. Like even like a small bone, even at the joint, it's hard to do.
I don't understand why you think she's overpowered. I'm that's me being the junk. I just don't think. I honestly, when in this world, and I know I'm thinking about it in fantasy terms, but I'm just saying like that's as much as
Who
I'm
other than
capable of.
Caleb? Who other than Caleb and possibly Jester could beat her in a fight?
Why would you want to put them in a fight? I mean, I'm gonna service the question. I'm just trying to figure out why would that come up? Granted, I mean, it looks like it might come up.
I'm trying to power
episode.
scale her to show you like how strong she is. I think Caleb can probably take anybody in one shot, so he's dangerous almost no matter who he's up against. Jester, she could take out Jester. Maybe Ford, like when he's possessed with demon power, could take her, but that's about it. Like she can one shot you, so you have to be really, really strong if she can just one shot you.
What about Molly? Whatever's going on with him? I mean, because it looks like
I don't know. Molly is definitely versatile, but I'm not sure he's the powerhouse of the level that Ford and our barbarian character here is quite up to. Also, they seem to have their power when they're many of the characters seem to be like only powerful when they're possessed. Molly, shit, why my brain just went free. The barbarian character, Molly, and Ford all seem to need to be possessed to really have the power that they need.
Molly's definitely possessed. I don't know if Ford's possessed because it seems like Ford's capable of keeping his mind when he's using his abilities. It doesn't seem like. Well, I'll take that back. There've been very influenced that he's looked really smiling crazy, but I don't know if he's in his right mind when those are happening, or if he's completely out of it because he never says what just happened just now, or like let you know that he didn't he blacked out or something like that. Molly's the only one who's actually blacked out. As far as I know, Ford hasn't blacked out yet.
He's definitely being compelled. Like every time the voice in his head tells him to do something, you're right, he's not blacking out, but he's using his power subconsciously, like the beams shoot out and stuff like that without him meaning to. But when the voice talks to him, he doesn't look blacked out, but he looks like he has to do what the voice says. Like if this voice says breathe, it's like he simply obeys it. And they don't show anything to show that like he's fighting it and that his eyes don't glow to indicate that he's being possessed or something. But it looks like he doesn't have a choice. If the voice tells him to do something, it looks like he has to do it. Like a Jedi mind trick kind of level of change.
I just want to know what a hexablade is really quick in terms of like this thing. I looked at that before, but I don't remember finding anything. That was helpful anyway. Not spoiling anything, just in general, I just want to know. Okay, it seems like the word curse is flying around. Okay, well, you know, he's cursed. At least as far as I know, he's like, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, it seemed like this, the word curse was flying around all over the Hexablade stuff. But yeah, subconscious. I mean, he was holding his hand up and blasting things. He wasn't meaning to do it on purpose, and he did a lot of his abilities not meaning to do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I guess I want to say is like, these characters aren't like somebody. These characters weren't made by one author. These characters are made by differing people. I don't think these people were accounting for other characters in general. I think they were just making a character they thought that was cool. That's what I'm getting. Because Ayasha, again, I don't know. Again, I don't know if she's just going to slow down and getting strong. Like maybe she introduced as a strong character, but later on, everybody else outclasses her eventually. Like I can't, and on top of that, I can't imagine there be a situation where she would fight them, unless they got in her way. But I mean, other than that, it's like I don't like know. Or she started massacring everybody in the village, which she could do. I don't know. As long as you don't let her get close to you, you should be safe. The only real reasoning like she would actually pose a threat to you at any point is that she was like close up in your face.
Close up in your face, how?
Like right up there. Like, I mean, granted, I know her sword's pretty long, but like I feel like even with that, like she would need to do any real damage. You would need to be like in the middle of her sword, the middle of her sword length. Because it doesn't seem like when she chops people, she's using the end of her blade. She's using the middle of the sword to hurt you.
Oh yeah, she'd have to be a close range fighter. That's another reason that I think Caleb could have probably taken her. You know,
I mean, Ford could shoot balls of energy, and I think Molly can too. I mean, he's shown that he cuts himself and he can make I'm calling it ice. I'm not sure what it is really. An ice dagger thing that he can throw, which is apparently a part of the skill tree of his class that they made up. But and he can throw that from distance. It's not like the only person who doesn't really have a fighting chance is Jester, but because it seems like she's really mostly just a healer from the little bit that we've seen. She's got that little lollipop mallet, but I'm not sure how strong that really makes her. And then like you got characters like Not who were a little bit more stealthy. But I don't think Not would go near her in the first place.
I think Not probably couldn't take her, not even with a sneak attack.
I don't think Not would go near her. Like, I mean, just in general, I don't think she would fight her. I don't think Not would have a reason, considering I think like Not's more of a scavenger.
Mm-hmm.
More in pretense, I guess, like in the name of the classic, a lot of people are calling her a rogue. I just straight up called her a thief, but I think thief's a class of rogue. I think. I haven't played D&D.
They're both classes. They're both classes.
Are more people calling her rogues? I don't know. But yeah, like I don't think like again, I was like I never thought about a situation where these guys would have to fight. I mean, if they did have to fight for any reason, like okay, I will see how it turns out. Because again, I don't know. I mean, you could consider her overpowered. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like she's like there's no way you couldn't see her as overpowered. But I was like, I wasn't thinking too much about like trying to power scale them because I know that each character was designed by a different person with different things in mind. Like I never like when I was playing D&D that one time, I didn't design Fenrir, the Elven Mage, with the thought that like they needed to be a certain way to complement other characters. That was never my thought process, so I don't think other people think that way. I could be completely wrong in that, and that's like I was playing the D&D game wrong. I could be completely wrong about designing a character with that way in regard, but like I didn't design Fenrir that way. I thought being a sorcerer was cool, and that's the direction I went. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to design backstory for him too much. Well, actually, I'd love to do that, but again, I only have very little experience. You have more experience. with this, and I know this is a
I think
show versus anything
this
else.
show is like doing a lot of stuff too. Like, a lot of these characters seem like they're like playing high level characters that lost touch with their power or something like that.
I don't think these characters have lost touch with their power. I think some of them just gotten powers accidentally. Not accidentally, like they were given power about something, but it wasn't like they knew. So a Jester, again, I don't know what's up with her. Apparently, she might be more cleric than anything else, but I don't know. I thought maybe she could have been a paladin, but I don't think she's a paladin. I think she's something else entirely. Because she doesn't exactly act like a paladin. Now with Vox Machina, I could definitely see that. Like people lost.
I mean, like,
contact.
I guess what I mean is like Molly seems to be a high level character that has amnesia and is now just starting to remember his powers. Caleb seems to be a high level character whose powers have been lost, quote unquote. Jester seems to be pretty high level and just kind of, I don't know, random about using it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and maybe Jester even is not as powerful as she once was, given that she doesn't have the Traveler with her. Maybe like with the Traveler with her, she would have been like full, quote unquote, full power. So I get the vibe that like, and Ford is obviously playing somebody that's really, really powerful and would be extremely powerful if he understood his powers. There's a lot of characters in here that are like playing somebody that, if they were just more in touch with who they really were, would be much more powerful. Even Not is like a version of herself that's alcoholic, you know? Are you
I
still
don't know
there?
about Jester. No, I'm still here. I don't know about Jester. Molly, I could see maybe like, I mean, based off everything we've just found out this episode, I could see that with Molly. I guess she wouldn't be wrong about Ford because he seems to have abilities that he doesn't know about. What else did you say? Oh yeah, Caleb. His magic still bothers me because it's got aspects of sorcerer written all over it, but he's not. There's something up with his abilities. I mean, obviously he lost it because he said he lost it. They were taken from him. I guess he must admit, what he's mentioning is that the circlets on his arms were taken from him because he doesn't have those anymore. Like he's got like scabs of where those things were on his arm. He doesn't have those anymore. And we did see how powerful Caleb was when he did have him in his arm. Like that flashback, the guy he melted a guy's forehead off. Like he melted somebody's. He performed lobotomies on two other monks. I was like, Caleb was really strong back when he was a full-on Volstagr. So somewhere along the way, he definitely did lose. I'm not sure what happened. I'd love to know what happened and why he's where he is right now. Again, I don't know. Again, it's like I don't know ultimately what high level is. I guess in this respect, I just think these are new characters they made that they're running with, and only Molly to me seems like he's like lost touch. No, take it back. Caleb and Molly seem to only be characters, at least in my mind, that seem to have lost touch with maybe who they once were.
Does Ford know how powerful he is, or what his powers are?
No, but I mean, like, it sounds like you're saying that he did know at some point, but I don't think he did. Because I mean, that sword wasn't his.
I said if he knew who he was, understood who he was and what he could do, he'd be much more powerful. Like in this episode, for example, he discovers he can breathe underwater.
Yeah, but that was mostly gifted to him by some other worldly being. So we still don't know who that is. We have a name, but I can't pronounce it. Well, I understand. I will say I would have to agree. Like he would definitely be a lot better off if he knew how powerful he was, or I should say, if he believed in how powerful he was. But he still kind of have like a self-confidence problem.
Yeah, but the only character that I feel like really has her legs fully planted in reality is Bo. I think Bo is not like the most powerful character, but I think she's the one that understands what she can and cannot do. And even Bo sometimes talks a little bit too big for her abilities, but like she seems to be the one. I for the most part, she knows what she can do and she does it. Not for the most part knows what she can do and does it, but she's also alcoholic. So anyone that's alcoholic, it would be at their full potential having not been alcoholic. Jester, I think, would probably be more powerful if the traveler's real, if the traveler was with her. So Jester has that missing piece kind of feeling too, to me. So it's just basically Caleb, I think, knows what he could be, but he doesn't have the tools for it. So I feel like Bo is the only one that's got like her feet firmly planted in reality. I think Molly is probably the closest second. I think Molly doesn't fully understand how he can do things, but he sort of like, I think Molly has a pretty good idea of what he's capable of, but he doesn't know why he can do it. I'd say out of all the characters, though, the one that seems to understand their power the next most would be Jester, then Caleb, then Molly.
I think I get what you're saying and all this, but at the same time, when I hear the word lost, I think it was like they had it and then it was gone versus them never having it to begin with. Like my meaning of the word lost, I think is what's really. I think I'm agreeing with you, but at the same time, my meaning in the word lost is like not like meeting your like how you're using it in this situation. And I know you're not saying they had it. I'm just saying that for me, when it comes to the word lost, I actively think of like something that was lost and they're gotten it versus them never having it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few characters meet my meaning of the least the way I'm thinking of the word lost, and that's Caleb and Molly. But Molly less so based off of things we'll talk about later on here in a minute. I think Beauregard might change class. A part of me is thinking, and this is me thinking out loud, based off the way Daron was kind of freaking out on her about Volstrucker. At first I thought maybe like there must be something evil going on in the Kobold Soul. I mean, granted we saw that something was going on within them, but I don't know. Something seems off to me about the Kobold Soul. Like even more so than than the offness that we got when we first saw them. I don't know, like Daron's acting, the way Daron was acting too was kind of catching me off guard. I was like, well, like I mean, there's probably more to this Volstrucker thing than she was letting on. The way she was talking to Bo in the first place.
Yeah.
Like the way she talked to Bo made it sound like Bo was a dumb little girl who didn't understand the full ramifications of what she was doing. Which for the most part, most characters talk to Bo like that, which is kind of weird. I will say I hope that changes.
I think there's some truth to it. I think Bo is a little big for her britches sometimes.
Well, I mean, it sounds like nobody really has given her a real chance. And she even make a mention later on that she's never really had any real friends. So I'm guessing she's lacked a few like real world like interactions with people, just in general. But a part of me is kind of very curious about like maybe that has something to do with her dad, who she flips out about when somebody brings up that they know her father, but they don't really. But I don't know. I probably was like thinking. A part of me, when I first saw her do that, thought that maybe her dad was an abuser. But now, after a little bit of thinking about that, it wasn't like Bo didn't freak out in the normal way somebody would freak out about an abuser. I don't know. Something happened with her father, or at least her parents in general, that she doesn't talk about, and it has something to do with her connection to whatever his name is. Where is he? Is he in the secondary characters or is he in the main characters? I guess he's in the main characters. That's really interesting. I didn't know I put him out here. Or did I put him out here at all? Hold on. The leader of the Cobalt Soul, that guy. I completely forgot his name. Or at least one of the leaders. I don't know. Again, I have no real basis for how I'm feeling, but it just seemed kind of weird. Like Dairon's got me suspicious. Dairon's got me suspicious a little bit. Like I don't know. It's just like I got a bad feeling. It's like I think I might be wrong. Suspicious about the wrong person in that regard. Because Dairon, I guess you could say like no one really, people. Sometimes people change. Sometimes people change slowly. I part of me wants to believe that Caleb has changed, but I guess I have no real reason to believe that. Because again, Caleb, like back when he was a part of Full Circle, he was very vicious, and kind of showed last episode when he was bringing that girl. He still kind of held on to some of that personality that he had when he was younger. Mm-hmm. Again, I would love to know like what happened, like how he ended up where he was, but He's backing up a little bit, at least back in this episode. Episode 6, after Yasha's introduction, again, we meet where our heroes, intrepid heroes, making it to Zadash to meet with the gentleman, because apparently they're going to help Caleb get another necklace so he can hide himself. Mm-hmm. And then they, as they're walking through the town, Bo disappears. And apparently it's kind of funny how Not notices that she just straight up disappears. I'm like, geez, like I guess you can like hide from Not's eyes apparently. But and then apparently like Caleb kind of gets a little stuck kind of gets pulled from the group a little bit, wondering where Bo went off to because she squeezed in between like an alleyway. And then like as Caleb get called over by Jester, we see that Astrid, one of his former Volcirker friends, apparently was asked to projecting herself into the middle of town, finding that's where he was, and then she turns behind herself to see where he was and see exactly where he was. And I'm guessing based off of like the tall tower in the distance and where she was when she projected herself, I'm guessing she is also in Zadash. This is what I'm guessing because I don't know. They didn't really make it seem like she was in a different area. Everything kind of looked the same architectural wise, anyway. So I'm guessing like Caleb, or Bren is his real name, is literally in the same time as she, the Wolf, I guess is his name, the other guy, and Trent, along with Essex, because I think Essex there too, giving up trade secrets. But basically, like after that, we go to where Bo went off to, and she's talking to Dairon. Dairon explains to her like, okay, this is the name, it's Trent, and she doesn't know what's gonna happen, with the Cobalt Soul or like the kingdom right now, or with the castle when they find out that Trent is the traitor. So basically, she kind of chastises Bo for having a friend that apparently has a connection to the Volcirkers, and then basically after that, she tells I guess like keep out your wits. She's never known anybody to escape the Volcirkers, and be alive apparently. So most people who escape die. And then like Bo ends up turning around because of a noise behind her, and then she turns around and Dairon's gone. And the next thing I say is like, all right, Batman. It just inexplicably disappears. And then we cut away. We cut back to. Well, hold on. Let me see. I want to see if there's anything else. Do we talk with like? Do we go? Oh yeah, we go. We cut into Essek and Trent after like Essek's giving, as I said, trade secrets to Trent to help him with the Lux thing. Which, by the way, I guess I never picked up on this or even brought it up. Apparently, that thing is obviously, at least the Lux beacon, is obviously a 20-sided die. It's got all the faces on it and everything. For some reason, the visual that they want to get for that thing is it looks like a freaking 20-sided die, like a D20. Because a lot of people were commenting on that, like it looked like a die.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like 6 episodes in, and I should have brought that up earlier. That was kind of funny. But yeah, like we see Trent figuring out how to use the Lux beacon, and I guess Dunamancing in the room. He's like warping everything around him, like a table. That poor table was being compressed and then stretched and compressed again. Like as he was trying to do this, he like Trent was like, "Oh, I can do more with this." And then like as he's trying to learn to do more with it, his skin is burning. It's burning off. Essek sees this as he's slowly losing control a little bit, or he's doing too much, and Essek is kind of afraid, as he should be. And he like he closes the beacon, and then Trent flies back into the table behind him after like the beacon lands in the cradle thing that it's in. And again, it's like Essek has made poor decisions in his life. Like I can't imagine this is gonna end well for Essek in the long run.
I can't think of a scenario. Can you?
I mean,
where it's gonna work out?
Like I don't want him to die, but he's done a little bit too much, and he might. If the queen finds out that he did this, like, I can't imagine he's gonna live.
Mm-hmm.
But and his mom, considering that he's doing this for his mother. And then Essek is like, okay, I think I can figure out like how to separate the body and the soul without killing the person. But as he's about to write down on this chalkboard that apparently is behind him, Trent gets called away to the kingdom throne room, and then Trent goes off, and he tells his like full circle bodyguards to not let him touch the thing. Trent goes off, and I'm thinking, do we see this? No, like he gets called off, and then we go back to our current Shepherd heroes back in town, and apparently it's nighttime. Bo joins them again after they make it to the Nip, as this place was called, the Evening Nip. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But he makes it. Oh, I just want to bring up this too. Jester picks up a book in the bazaar. Do you want to know something funny about that book?
What's that?
That book exists in the real world. Critical Role commissioned for that book to exist. You can buy it. I only found this out recently. I didn't buy it.
Happens.
Huh?
I love it when stuff like that happens.
So that book exists in the real world, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm watching a react group right now. Apparently there's one of the reactors' wives bought the book and she's reading it. So I don't know. Somebody was saying, I wonder if like the campaign's in there somewhere. Like, I hope the campaign's not in that book. Tusk Love doesn't sound like I want that to be the name of the campaign. I thought it was even weird that the cover of that book, is it just me, or did the cover of that book look like Ford and Jester on it? Like it looked like a copy of them in a different world.
What was that last part?
But didn't the cover of that book look like Ford and Jester were somehow transplanted on it? Like a version of them, like a version of them was transplanted on that book. I just started looking like there is no way. Like, what the heck? But yeah, apparently they were bringing attention to it because I think you can buy it. So I think that was the whole point of them bringing attention to it. Yeah, but that was just weird. But yeah, they make it to the evening nip, and as they're walking in, Bo apparently slides back in with the group. Apparently picked up a golden chalice along the way. And then Caleb's like, "Where were you?" I was shopping. They said he liked expensive things, and he was like, they walk into the evening nip, and then Molly just walks up in there, talks to the bartender, and he's like, "What do you have?" He's like, "I'm here bringing a gift," and apparently that's not the password because it causes the bartender to get a little bit snippy with him, and
Just get tense.
he's like, I have a gift for you, and then everybody in the background apparently is a part of this. The patrons in the bar all get up and they all start bringing out their weapons that apparently they're allowed to bring into the place business. And then Jester's like, "We should have probably brought mini gifts," and he's like, "Oh, that's right. Like we have brought mini gifts," and apparently that's the password. And everybody sits down. He opens up the secret hideaway to to another part of the building. And I'm just like, you know what, Molly? You could have said something much faster. I am guessing that whole scene was the person not rolling tens. I'm guessing until that very last turn. I can only assume that was what was happening. But trying to see if do they walk down there? Is that the next bit? No, then we swap back to Trent, and he walks into a trap, which I gotta say, before the things that follow with him happen, I sat there like, did he not know that was a trap? I find that strange that he walked right into a trap. Like, did you think that was weird? When he walked into the throne room and somehow walked into a trap? I just thought it was strange that they managed to trick him into getting caught. Because the Cobalt Blues, the Cobalt Soul says that you're involved in the Lux and Beacon incident, and they trap him in a still trap, and then they managed to put a gag on him so he can't use his spells. And I thought was ingenious. Like, wow, they managed to do something correct for once.
I'm not surprised at all that they got lured into a trap. Are you? They had to go in there.
I'm more surprised that he got caught, because to me, I feel like Trent was smarter than that. That's just my thing. I thought Trent was smarter than I thought he would have known that something was up. Am I wrong to assume that he would have thought something was up? Because they get called by the king. Sorry.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I just think that he was so desperate to get this. I think in Caleb's mind, he's like, my whole life depends on this. I'm dead if I don't go in there. I might as well just go ahead. What?
Caleb, wait. I'm sorry, what?
Which trap are you talking about?
I said Trent.
Oh, Trent. Yeah, that was stupid of Trent. I'm sorry.
What part of the episode do you think I was talking about? I was curious.
When they go into the captain's quarters to get the compass.
I know I haven't been to that part yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Trent was really stupid in that scene. But he did have people on tap to come save him too, right?
But he didn't need those people, which is what I was about to get to later. Is that after he gets trapped and he's being flogged, he manages to get out by himself. He didn't need them. If anything, maybe they were there as a plan 3 in case plan 2 didn't work out.
No, he didn't need them, but it might have been nice to avoid all that torture.
Yeah, but I think again because he was asking for the king. I'm just saying, it just seems kind of strange to me. I thought Trent would have realized that this was a trap before even walking in. It just seems kind of strange to me. It's On top of that, like the view of the throne would have been visible for walking into the throne room. It seems so strange that he would have walked right in and not thinking that, oh, this is strange. Like, I'm guessing his perception wasn't all that high. It just seemed kind of weird.
He is not as badass sometimes as I expect him to be. Do you feel that way too?
I think he's as, I mean, to be real, I expect there to be a lot more fireworks and stuff like that. I feel like there'd be a lot. I feel so like up to this point, as I said this last episode, Trent has like, he hasn't gone out of his way to kill people, and only when he has killed people, he doesn't seem all that interested in cleaning it up. I've said this before, like he doesn't seem. That's been the one thing that's been really catching me off guard with him, is like I feel like he's like there is always something up with him, because it doesn't seem like he's all that bothered by getting caught. He doesn't, as you said before, he isn't as badass as you think he would be. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he never seems bothered by cleaning up his messes. Like he'll make one and he'll do his best to clean up if it's within his power to do so. But even then, it's like he doesn't seem all that bothered by it. He seems like he's brought those people like Astrid and you know the voice workers Aurelia. They're supposed to be the ones that clean up the messes while he makes them. Because even with the killing, it's like he's like when he was trying to coerce Essek into teaching him Dunamancy. He killed multiple people from the looks of it, just to making Essek go back to back with these people of opening the gate, so that way it would like Essek would realize that he couldn't keep on doing this to get him to force him to teach him Dunamancy. It seemed like there was a plan involved there with the amount of people he was killing, but who knows what those dead bodies were, where he's planting those dead bodies. I can't imagine there'd be a lot of dead people in the kingdom didn't notice, but who knows? All in the name of science, am I right?
Science! If you say so.
But it's just like, he doesn't seem all that, I've noticed that he doesn't seem all that interested in a lot of that extra stuff. Like, and I guess for most scientists are like that too, where, you know, they make a mess, but the mess is in the name of learning, and they'll do their best to clean it up if they can. But, you know, in most situations, like, they'll make something that they can't exactly absolve, and then that thing becomes a problem later on. But in this case, the living were contained, but then again, Trent himself got caught, which a part of me wonders if that was on purpose. But again, I find that really weird, because like he seems to be caught off guard the moment they put the gag on him, and then like they go and torture him in the room. Like you said, it would have been nice to avoid all that. Yet it seems like he wanted to be there because he wanted to call in the king, and then they wanted to trick the king into seeing the situation his way. When the king kind of goes in there, you know, gives him one for like, you're causing this war. How dare you? Like all you're curious about is like, you know, knowledge and not not the real world. Or like, it wasn't like that, but it's like at the same time it seemed like the king was really upset with him trying to learn things about the beacon, which was going to cause a global, you know, a pretty much a country-wide war with the other country that they wanted to avoid. But after he said that, all he said was like, so what? Like, so who starts the war? As long as we're the one that finishes it. And then like the king gets curious, which is like clearly that means that he was playing towards the king's curiosity. And when that worked, he got out pretty much, and that's when his minions like, now I feel silly. Of course, this wasn't gonna hold him. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, what's going on with this guy? Like at 1 minute, it doesn't seem like he's got everything in hand, and the next minute he does. It's like this character's roles are ridiculous. Like some of this stuff shouldn't be working, but it is. But to answer your original question, I'm like, yeah, again. At the same time, it's like, Maybe this is the whole point of the character. It's supposed to subject our expectations.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like maybe he's just there to be like, oh, look at this, like the dangling the key over here, but the real thing's happening behind you.
Oh my god.
But and it will go on really quick back to the 99. Like after they go underneath the bar, which probably has the entire establishment beneath it. Like everybody walks in, and then Molly gets caught off guard by a panther lady named Cree, who I will say is like, as this was happening, I started like understanding why you were unable to get a read on Molly.
Yep.
This entire scene confuses me because basically he gets called Lucian. He doesn't respond to it. He more or less responds to her talking about this guy named Lucian, and she doesn't take a hint, and she keeps on uttering more stuff. Such as like, apparently he was a part of some ritual. The tattoos were apparently a part of that ritual. There was some tomb that got dug up. Apparently they called him a Majin that apparently absconded with his book. Mm-hmm. Whatever that means. And I'm just like, okay, we really gotta understand what's going on here. Like what's going on? Like it sounds like there was some ritual, and somebody kind of brought up that it's possible that maybe Molly was dead, and then the ritual was to bring him back to life. But I don't know if that's really what's going on there. I mean, they do mention a grave, so like I guess it's like it could be some truth in there. Maybe there was a dead body involved. I don't really know. I mean, Molly's tattoos are strange though, because I mean, when he first utilized his abilities, every single eye on his body like lit up, and as he was doing his magic, and it seemed like Molly didn't know what he was doing. Like when he woke back up, so like it's possible there is something inhabiting his body that's keeping him alive, maybe. But I don't know. It is like it's very strange. Apparently, like Molly is a group project. Well, not group project, but a lot of people are like theorizing what's going on with Molly. So you're not the only one, Spear.
Nah, you sure?
Now, a lot of people seem to be curious about what's going on with Molly. People do not know what's going on with him. Or should I say Lucian, because that's apparently what Cree called him. Which is also strange that he had another name. And apparently he was with a different group of people when he came here the first time, which is even stranger. I can't wait to see what comes up with that. Because like they just threw that in our face. And Bo was like, what in the world, Molly? I don't know, just go along with it. No, I was like, I would have said, no. What's going on here, man? I'm traveling with you. Got a Volt Strucker mage on our side right now. What's going on with you? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like they meet with the gentleman, and the gentleman they explain everything to the gentleman. And he's like, oh, so you're here for a trinket. And he's like, huh, that's interesting. Like, I don't know how powerful enemies you got they're following you, that you need something like that. And he's like, well, instead of like typical D&D, like you can't get anything simply just by asking. You got to perform some song and dance. The song and dance here is they got to go to a dungeon, obviously to grab a compass from inside a pirate's ship that's mysteriously underneath the ground. I don't know why it's down there, but it's down there. I need to grab a compass for him that he wants. And before they go, they get equipment, and then they also have to give up their blood.
Because why not?
And the off chance that they decide to run away with the goods. Though he said the gentleman's like, I won't have to use this. This is just in case policy. I'm like, you don't trust me, do you? I mean, it's obvious, but it's just like, you don't trust me, do you? But after that, they make it to the place because apparently also the kingdom is down there too, because they don't know what's going on down there. They make it there, and then like they say that the entrance is guarded, and then Molly's like, "Oh, there's a back entrance according to this map." So he also says that, contrary to popular belief, the back door is always a good time, and Jester just snickers. I'm like, you two are sharing the same brain cell. Will you stop? But and then also Not is a like, are you sure about this? So I want to actually rectify something I said about Not in terms of the water thing. At first I thought maybe the water thing was something to do with maybe her race, but I'm guessing it's more she has a legitimate fear hydrophobia, and I don't know where that's from. I'm hoping we get an explanation, but I guess she legitimately has a fear of water.
Yeah, I do hope we find out more about that. I'd be very interested to learn more about that myself. The even like she's like, there's gonna be a waterfall there, like, and is suddenly very sketched out by it.
Yeah, she has legitimate hydrophobia. I was very curious about that at first. I was like, at first I thought maybe it had something to do with her being a goblin, but maybe not. Now I'm starting to think it's deeper than that, because she was terrified at the waterfall before. I'm like, there's something up with you in that. I wonder if it has anything to do with a drowned child. I have no idea. I'm just throwing out ideas. But because Not does carry around a really weird button on top of that, like, on her at all times, that she kind of grasps whenever she's looking at her stuff. Yeah, they make it down into the cave, and they start heading towards the direction of possibly where the treasure is. They encounter traps along the way, which is cool. They have a little cool scene of like Not seeing a rogue or a thief disable a trap. I thought that was really funny and really cool at the same time. It's like all these traps are being set off, and it's not like perfect. I do remember being in a D&D session and trying to disable traps and having our rogue disable traps. It doesn't go perfectly all the time. So I love that, like, Not's down there trying to figure out how to, like, where the heck the mechanism is, and she's setting off all the traps.
Mm-hmm.
She gets down there, and then Bo ends up saving her because, like, Not's about to get hit in the head with a giant boulder on a stick. They're like, geez, like, you really don't trust people. Bo and Not are learning for our lives. Not finds the mechanism and pulls a lever. Doesn't work, so she ends up pulling her like, I guess her lockpick or whatever like that, and starts fooling around with the gears, and manages to pull the lever, and the traps go off. Apparently, because there's about to be a flamethrower going off too, so she saved them in the nick of time. But as she does that, Not gets kind of big for her britches, like, ha, I saved you, and then gets hit in her butt with a dart, and she screams, and it cuts away from the scream, and then she's like getting her butt healed by Jester.
Really fun little moment of like slapstick there.
Yeah, I laughed so hard. It was hilarious. I was like, they didn't need to do that. I'm glad they did it. They're not just like healing her butt, and then they move on. And then they make it to the room. I think the first room they make it to is a room with like dragon candles and like little constellations in the sky. And Caleb lights the lanterns on, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Well, like, that's what they need to do here, because they believe it's a puzzle. And then like Ford ends up his deity speaks into his ear like, seek, and he's like, all I gotta say is, like, every time he said something to me, I was like, can you be more specific?
Mm-hmm.
Seek. I was like, can you say more than one word?
But he seems to understand what it means.
Obviously. But he ends up looking around, like, oh, these are constellations, and he's like, apparently its entire puzzle is about dragon constellations, which I thought was interesting. Nobody questioning how he knows about those, but he lights them all into each constellation, and then as he's doing that, because the exit is above them on a wall out there, and like they make steps for them to get out, and he managed to solve the puzzle. And interestingly enough, after he does this, everybody calls him captain, which I thought was a cool little moment for him, that he got a chance to be called captain.
Uh-huh.
I guess maybe maybe the lie that he's not captain won't matter at the end of all this. I'm guessing. I don't know. That's me being optimistic. But so Arab believes he's the captain. Maybe maybe it won't really matter. But they get out, and then I want to say, did they cut away from that puzzle? I feel like they did, but I could be completely wrong. Oh yeah, also Caleb sets down a string trap as an alarm system in case they're being followed, which comes in handy later. Oh yeah, after they solve the puzzle, they meet well, they don't really meet him, but they see a hologram of the pirate of the ship, which I told Spear, that guy's an actual, apparently a D&D character. Actually, I can get his name really quick. Wait, can I? It doesn't appear to show up here. Weird. Yeah, they don't name the VA for him. Weird. They don't even name his character. That's sad. Yeah, he's not even important enough to have an X-ray for him. Like Amazon did better about that. Oh yeah, then we cut away to Essek, and he's like with his mother, who is again having a nosebleed because obviously she's still suffering from typhus. But like Essek seems to be happy that he solved the problem and he can cure her. And then he sees that apparently his mother was having tea with somebody, and he finds out that the general, his friend, was here saying his goodbyes because they were going to send him to the front lines. And Essek apparently forgot about the 48 hours that he had before the war started, or whatever time limit he had. He's shocked that this happened. And I'm like, didn't they just tell you about this? Like, you had a certain amount of time before the queen decided that she was going to start a war with the other kingdom. But again, like, Essek just kind of being dumb. I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like he's making a lot of dumb decisions.
Extremely. I don't know. I don't think Essex has made a smart decision yet. I'm not even 100% clear on like why Essex did this in the first place. Are you?
I understand he's trying to. He took the beacon because he wanted to understand how it worked, so he can help his mother. Because apparently, like one of the few things he does say out loud before Trent goes off and gets captured, is that he was trying to find a way to separate the body from the soul without killing the body. It's apparently one of the things he was trying to figure out. How that was going to help his mother. Oh, maybe he was trying to find a way to remove the memories. Maybe that's what he was trying to do, because I guess the problem that Typhros is that when you do get Typhros, all the memories of all the past lives come flooding into you. And his mother did say that she's lived a long time and gotten a lot of reincarnations on top of her. We do see that she has a lot of memories of other lives that she's had. So it's possible Typhros is just like an accumulation of, you get too many of them at some point, and you end up becoming sick. That, or your body, your brain personally can't handle it, I'm guessing. But I think he's trying to find a way to use the Lux Beacon to take out the memories that are causing her the issue. Because like, I mean, all he really wants is more time with his mother. But he realizes he doesn't have a lot of time based on she's having this sickness. And apparently telling the queen, means that you can't go back into the beacon, I guess. My bigger thing, I'm kind of wondering what the consequences besides Typhros is of all this reincarnating that's going on in their race, because it's clear that no other race is apparently allowed, unless you're consecrated. You're not allowed to go into their beacon, without their permission. But apparently, there's a lot of souls in that thing, and a lot of reincarnations happen. I'm just kind of curious, like, do any of them really fear death? Because I don't think they do, right? Because I mean, Varric was concerned about like not being able to have a family in his next life, and they were all concerned about people dying in the war and not being able for their souls to be saved. I understand he's trying to do a lot of this for his mother, but these decisions weren't probably the best. They were not made truly with his mother in mind.
Absolutely burning the entire world down for like his mother, and like
Was that really his
killing, putting his entire nation and like basically like their immortal souls at risk in the name of like taking this over, you know?
I mean, yeah, but what I want to say is like his decision is selfish, more so than intelligent. It's really just about him not wanting to lose his mom. Because honestly, I will say this much: I will blame his queen, because like, I think honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that like, if you do get this disease, you had to be killed, I bet he would probably be less less in a hurry to try to figure out a cure for his mom, because it sounds like he's got very little time before it's found out that his mother's sick. And on top of that, his mother is having consistent nosebleeds, so it sounds like she's slowly dying. So it sounds like to me, it's like a lot of these decisions, like he's making these decisions because he does not want to be left alone, which is understandable. I mean, you know, you have somebody you love, and you don't want to see them go away before you're ready. But again, no one's really ready to see people leave. You know, that's just life in general. But I don't think Essex understands that, or he does, and he doesn't want to live with that consequence of his mother passing on. Because it doesn't seem like his mother's all that concerned about like having this disease anyway. I mean, when she's lucid, other time she's not. But she doesn't seem all that concerned. Like she's like, you know, she understands what's going on, and she's like, you know, if she needs to die, she's prepared to do so. Meanwhile, her son isn't ready to let go. Which again is understandable, but these decisions, again, are really dangerous that he's making, and they've really, you know, actually, as he says, he's burdened the world because he doesn't want to let go. So I'm not sure how this is going to end for him. Like, he might end up losing his mother after all.
It looks an awful lot like that, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, he's got the kingdom, the human kingdom's got the Lux beacon, and they discovered how to use it to hurt people.
But he isn't anywhere closer whatsoever to anything, right?
No, I think he enclosed in on like his what he like the cure. I think because that's why he went back to his mom. Cause I think he went to go tell her that he was like he had found a way to achieve what he was trying to do, whatever that was. He doesn't really exactly say. I'm making guesses on what he was trying to do. But like it sounds like he was really, if I remember correctly, it sounded like he said that he found out. Oh, he was really close to the solution, but unfortunately, things went out of his control. Because he went back to get the Lux Beacon and found out that Trent took it with him to the front lines. So it sounded like he was gonna go to get the beacon and take it back to the kingdom, but unfortunately, Trent took it first. We go back to our intrepid friends in the dungeon, and we cut back. Apparently, them running away from a trap, and next words that Nat says just makes me lose it. I am sorry. I didn't think that wing was trapped, and I'm sitting here like, what statue were you touching? I'm sorry. It's like the things that Nat says is just like it's so out of pocket. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, it's a part of the show, but a part of me believes that like the person, the voice acting, is inserting things that probably was not a part of the campaign. I don't have proof of this, but it just seems like to me that was like something that was added in just for comedy's sake. But not that I have a problem with them just saying that. Just like I can't imagine that being the first words out of your mouth in the actual campaign. I could be completely wrong based on what I've heard Laura Bailey say in her campaign clips. But I just like, I don't know. I can't act like something's up. I don't know. I had no proof of this, but it just seems like the wing was trapped. Like, really? Like, geez, like the phallic thing seems to be just pervading the show. It's like it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and I just accepted it because it's like I'm gonna probably it's gonna keep on happening. I might as well just might as well accept it. But then that's when they make it into what they managed to make it to the ship. Yeah, they managed to make it to the ship, and they're looking up trying to figure out how to get to it. And Ford has another like voice in his head, is like, consume. I'm just like, I'm telling you right now, I'd be asking like, what do you mean consume? I thought he said he wanted to consume the water, but apparently he wanted to dive into the water and go into a hole.
Oh no, I think consume meant consume that eye thing.
No, I know, but at the time I thought that it was like, because he looked at the water after he heard the word consume. I was like, what consume? But I know after he dived into it and then he went in there, got trapped and then was forced to breathe water. And then he managed to grab the eye, whatever that's for. As he's doing that, the gang on top, Jester's worried about him. Meanwhile, Caleb and Bo are trying to get access to the ship, and apparently it's invisible, but Caleb can see it with his magic eyes, and it's like Bo needs to trust him, and Caleb leads her to at least to the first two floating islands, then gives her an incorrect number to jump to the next one, and she nearly falls, and then Caleb takes that time to ask her what she was doing, and then I guess Bo, not really wanting to, not wanting to drag this on any longer, just tells him that she was speaking to her handler, and like about like their his friend. Well, she uses the words his friend Trent Ikathon, and they're gonna like he's probably gonna go to prison now, or they're gathering information on him, and then basically into like, well, if you either have a problem with me or that, like lead me across or drop me. And I'm like, I don't know how you trust that guy after what he nearly did to you earlier. But he tells her what direction to go to, and she trusts him apparently, and jumps onto the next platform, and then jumps onto the ship. And then she extends the bridge that leads into the ship. But again, I don't know how you trust that guy after that. But oh, oops! I must have meant 2.5 meters. I'm like, you dick. I mean, I guess at the same time she wouldn't have had any, like, what else could she have done at that point? She would either have to find her way back without his help, or trust him to go forward. Well, which is insane. Like, would you trust him again after he did that to you? After he did that to you?
No, I don't think so.
Like, right? I mean, after he says, "Oops, I must have meant 2.5 meters." I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't like. I mean, Bo trust him, but they make it on there. He apologizes and saying like, the only way to he's sorry, but the only way to deal with Trent is to kill him, and your handler must already be dead, and he apologizes for that too. I'm like, and then we spend the next few minutes here also with them both with their own trust issues, but they as they're about to, no, this happens before, but Caleb's alarm goes off. He's like, well, we gotta hurry this up. They get into the ship, and then they grab Bo grabs some money, but not before she makes a Scrooge McDuck reference. You caught that, right?
Yes, I actually even have it in my notes.
Oh, but yeah, she makes a Scrooge McDuck reference, and it's like, take as much as you want, and she grabs as much money as she could, I guess, and then he grabs the compass, and they get congratulated, only for the robots in the room earlier to all light up which all of them apparently function by sound, which we're as the audience is let in on that, but they don't know it yet. But as soon as those robots get activated, then the guards come in and they start like screaming, and then the robots turn their attention to them and they start all dying. And then Molly's trying to save some of them, and there's like one guy's like Molly's like, "Hey, shh! If you don't say anything, they won't move." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then the robot turns around and smacks him. I'm just like, "Geez, he deserved that." As they're all not trying to die from the guard and also from the robots, like Ford apparently comes up out of the water, and again, the voice in his head's like, "Leave." And he's about to leave, and he sees behind him that his friends are in trouble. And then he does the right thing, but comes back. And at first I was like, why is he screaming? Does he not know that he's gonna cause more trouble? And then like one of them hits him and he teleports, and he keeps on insulting everybody, and they all apparently like he insults not catches on really quick and starts insulting everybody else, and everybody else seems to catch on really easily as they're trying to direct all the robots to attack the guards, and they manage to get out. And I'm like, wow, that was actually really smart. And also Ford didn't leave, though I guess it took that book that was on the ground that he stepped on, which I really want a really quick one to actually, I don't want to say harp on that book, but it was interesting that like Ford seemed like he was committed to leaving, right? And then he steps on the book, and then he changes his mind. Did Jester drop that book at some point? Because it seems kind of interesting that it was like right there, right in front of him for him to step on. It was like a really weird, coincidental situation that doesn't really get explained. It just kind of gets glossed over.
Was step on what?
When Ford is about to leave, because he's like, it looks like Ford's committed to leaving, only for him to step on the book that Jester's drawing on earlier on in the episode. And I
think what's going on there is Ford, of all the characters, Ford has been the one most willing to leave, and Jester really, really likes Ford, and Ford, I don't know, the strongest word I'd give is like accepts Jester, but like he doesn't reciprocate so far. But I think as he was leaving, he realized like he couldn't quite go that far with it. Do you know what I mean?
But he seemed really committed, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, that book just seemed to be conspicuously in the right spot. I just want to say, I think, I mean, this is headcanon, I know. No, I'm not saying this is true. I think the Traveler might be real.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
I think the Traveler threw that book in front of him on purpose. It just seemed like, it just like, I mean, like, nothing like that has happened before. And I don't know if it will happen since, but it just seems like the book seemed to be right there, right in his eyesight, you know, right at the right time as he's about to leave. It just seemed too right of the right time. It just seemed too convenient that it was like right there. If anything that she could have dropped that was hers, that would have changed his mind, it was the book.
I don't even know why that. Why would she have even brought the book with her?
She was drawing on it.
I know, but like, why would you bring like your coloring book to like a Deadly Tomb Raid, even if you're Jester?
I was about to say she's Jester, but I mean,
yeah. It's just travel light would be my philosophy. I mean, they must have other possessions that they left somewhere.
I don't know if they have many possessions, considering they all seem to travel and don't stop.
I know, but like they have, like, for example, I'm sure somebody has like a sleeping roll out of the party, you know?
Well, I know Jester does. Well, I'm not sure what that's about. She had a full tent that looked like it had a full-size bed in it when we last saw her sleeping. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just like, it just seemed really like, I don't remember her dropping it. So to see her book on the ground right in front of him was like very intriguing. And I thought about it, I was like, that's really odd. Like, why the book of all things is like in front of him? I mean, I get that Ford's a good guy, and that's probably really what that's meant to be. Is like it's meant to show that he's a really good guy. He won't abandon people, but it's just like that was a really too convenient spot for that book to be. Like it could have been like 1 inch to the left, and he went there and stepped on it. Like there's a point where he couldn't have stepped on it. He would never look down. Because again, he was really committed to leaving. But I don't know. It's just. But yeah, he saves his friends, and they all get out. Scot free. Well, almost scot free. I mean, like Knott's got a hole in her butt.
Yeah.
But
So I think we can confirm that Knott is not a child. 100% now.
Why?
Because we saw her butt.
So?
Just even for a risky show like this, I feel like
they wouldn't show a child's butt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would. That's a line that I don't think even a risky show like this would cross these days.
I guess.
I say these days because, like, in the 1960s, they probably could have gotten away with it, but nowadays, everybody would be kind of up in arms if they went there. Because it's a harmless picture, like nobody's sexualizing that, but still, you know what I mean? Nowadays, that would be pretty over the line, even for a group like this. I don't think you'd want to like go there and, you might get away with it, but you would definitely not. You would make a lot of people unhappy, and I don't think you would go there. So I think it's probably safe to assume that they didn't go there, that they're smart enough, and that she's an adult.
Okay, yeah, I buy that. So after that, after they get out, we cut away to the battlefield with the king and Trent. Also, Essex, jumping in at the last minute to see, that the elves seem to have won the fight, only for the king and and his archmage to show up on the top of the hill, conveniently far enough away from all the fighting. And then Tristan tells the king to back up a little bit, because he doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire. And basically, Trent activates on the beacon, and then essentially the elves send arrows in his direction, and then the arrows get called up to heaven, basically. And everybody's like, "Oh my goodness!" And then Essex shows up at that moment, and he sees that, oh, this is about to be bad. He goes and gets his general friend and teleports him away to a farther distance away from the central effect of the beacon. And then Trent digs in even harder and basically causes everybody in the elves to be lifted into the sky, and then lets them go, and they all fall to their deaths. Which is probably the most violent way I've seen people die in anything, at least in my general time of watching shows. With everybody, when they're falling, people lost their heads, eyeballs are falling out. Geez, there's a lot of blood everywhere. And then Trent's Prince won the freaking war at this point, and the king's looking like, oh, this is what academics means. The king is crazy, by the way. I can't believe he fell for this, but regardless, then after all that's taken care of, all the souls from the dead elves, this is what shocked me. I was like, oh, he's letting the souls go back into the beacon? That's interesting. All the souls, though, the dead elves fly into the beacon, and then General Varric's like, what? And he turns right to Essex. He's like, how did you know? Well, he grabs him by his Count Dracula cloak and says, how did you know? And Essex is like, he just looks away, and he's like, you did this. And I was like, this is gonna end well for him, is it? As Pyrrhus says, and under any circumstance, I don't know how this is gonna end well for him, but it doesn't really end well for him. And then we cut away from that after Essex betrayal of his own kingdom has been shown, and we like our gangs like in their chariots, quote unquote, heading back to Sadash. You know, everybody's talking like not in Ford, or you know, I guess having a little joke around. You know, Ford's kind of accepted half jokes that not throws at him specifically. Caleb and Jester is trying to draw Molly. He pretty much asks her to stand still and turn his face closer to her so that she can draw him. And then we have Caleb and Bo talking, and you know, Caleb's like I may have trust issues, but I'm willing to try to trust other people. And then like Bo kind of pokes him a little about that, like, was that an apology? Usually sorry makes an appearance. And he's like, well, I am. And then she's like, you know, accepted, you know, I was just joking around with you. And she's like, I never had friends either. So it's, you know, they seem like these two are getting closer together in terms of like, you know, their friendship and whatnot. But I thought that was nice, you know, after Bo nearly getting flattened like a pancake on the turf that, you know, Caleb was directing her over. I guess like they trust each other a little bit more now, which is cool. And then Not makes the dumb cartoon mistake of like saying that nothing can go wrong, and then or basically like the trouble is behind us, and yes it is, because Yasha's crazy behind it is seen walking up to Sadash, and that's where the episode ends. I don't know what Yasha's gonna do as Sadash, but I guess we'll find out next time.
I like that when they're like, the worst is finally behind us, and they're walking towards the city, and you see these vultures like circling and keening, like, and screaming the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, like, Not makes the dumb cartoon mistake of saying nothing can go wrong, and the next thing happens is everything gone wrong. It's just insane. I guess that's all I can really say. Like the episode, can't wait for episode 7. 2 more episodes left this season.
Yeah, and I think that's frustrating. Don't you?
I mean, I get plenty of things I can watch. I usually keep a good list of things I can watch. Like,
I mean, don't you feel like, how the hell are they gonna like wrap this up in 2 episodes?
But they're not really wrapping anything up. They're just continuing a storyline, and the storyline will continue next season. That's my thoughts. I mean, nothing seems to be close to a conclusion at this point. I mean, really, I think everything is kind of reaching the nearing its climax right now, but like there isn't a solution in sight. I don't think that's the point. As you said before, this entire show, at least so far, this season has kind of been like a slow build up. I don't think we're gonna get the payoff this season. That's just my thought process. Because like that war has started, and I don't think that war is gonna that's the end of it. I think that's just the beginning. Because now the queen, I'm pretty sure, knows they have it. Like, there's no way she doesn't.
Oh, she absolutely does. I mean, the guy stood on like a precipice and used it. Well, I guess
you shall not pass.
I guess on the other hand, how the hell would they know? Like, it's not like he left any survivors.
Well, no, he did. I mean, I guess it wasn't like him leaving a survivor. It was Essek that got Varric out of the way. Varric saw all this and knows that Essek was the cause of it.
Varric is the only survivor, though, so it's up. If he doesn't say it, how would they even find out what happened?
Well, I mean, I think there's a way. I mean, again, like, it wasn't, like you said before, it wasn't like Trent like put it underneath a magic blanket and then waved it around. No, like, I mean, it was like right there. Like he made sure that people could see
there was no one alive.
Varric's alive, and I'm pretty sure Varric will rat on him. And the main reason why I think Varric will probably rat on him is because Varric earlier had made mention of how sad he was that maybe he wasn't going to be able to, you know, have another life to be able to have children. And if I was him, and to know that the guy I had been confiding in with this whole entire time was the reason why I may not be able to have that life now, I would probably be mad enough to go tell on him and to rat on his mother.
Yeah. Varric
Unless-
is the only loose end, though.
Essek might tell. I mean, like right now, Essek has no other course of action but to tell on himself.
They will kill him.
Yeah, but I think he realizes that's the only way out of this now.
Perhaps, but they will kill him if he does. So it's going to be challenging at best.
Maybe he'll be able to weasel out. Maybe he's saying like, Queen, if you let me rectify my poor decision making, I will go out there and get it back. Granted, I know that that'll probably be really hard for him by himself, but I mean, I'm guessing Essek's supposed to be a part of the Mighty Nine at some point. I'm guessing. I don't know how he goes from here to there, but it's a possibility. Well, that's my thought process anyway, because it's like they named this character and we've been following his poor decision making. A part of me thinks that this is a D&D character, but I don't know. Though he is being voiced by Matt Mercer, so I don't know exactly what role Essek is fulfilling. I wonder if I could find something. If I can find that out without spoiling myself or anything. Let me find out. Okay, never mind. He's an NPC. So he could die. He could legitimately, get killed off and it won't really matter.
Neat.
Did you just say neat to him dying? How dare you?
I don't know. Why not?
I mean, at least let him try to redeem himself. I mean, dang. He was just doing this for his mom. My goodness.
Yeah, that's fair.
I gotta use the bathroom, but I'll let you, read off your notes if you still have any that you want to say. I'll be right back.
I want to read them to you, though.
You can read the notes. I'll be back. I gotta go and take care of some business.
He's taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. Yeah, he's gonna taking care of business. It's all right. Taking care of business and working overtime. Oh yeah. Taking care of business. Jeremy, taking care of business. Every day he's taking care of business. It's all right. Taking care of business and working overtime. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you in the left-hand side, Jeremy Visuals going to the bathroom, taking a shite. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the center stage, where Alternate Visuals is taking an epic category shite.
Oh. All right, I'm back.
Did you like my narration in the background?
I didn't hear any of it because I was in the bathroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I was narrating like you were like. I was narrating the fact that you were going to the bathroom in like a WWE voice.
Oh no, I don't. No. I don't need my
That's what I was
Nation
doing.
WWE.
It was like, ladies and gentlemen, may I address your attention to the center stage, where Jeremy Alternate Visuals is urinating.
Okay, you can read your notes for what you have.
Jeremy
You could have been writing him
Alternate
earlier.
Visuals, alternate visuals.
Yeah, I would not be paying to that.
Visuals.
Like, there's no way I would.
Yeah! Fucking yeah! 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 Yeah!
You good?
My friends are the most patient people in the universe. Like, if you ever needed to like curate a list of the most patient people in the universe, you could just find my contacts, like my social contacts, and they would be the most patient people alive. You realize that, don't you?
Repeat that again.
I said my friends, my social contacts are the most patient people alive. If you ever needed to curate a list of the most patient living human beings, all you would have to do would be to like get a list of my friends, and that would be the list of the most patient people alive.
I mean, they had to be patient to be dealing with you.
That's now you're starting to get it now, aren't you?
I mean, not really. I mean, do you have anything to add to the podcast, or should we end it?
Why are you trying to end it so fast?
I mean, you probably took your pills. I know you said something about being sick.
I liked that now that the characters are off on their own and away from their mentors, they're still like adding those little tidbits of wisdom, but they're kind of like not the same. They don't have the depth of wisdom that like they that the mentors had with them, but they're still like sort of like little bits of like one-liners and bits of wisdom, like when Molly says may he rest in pleasure, and then later on when Molly corrects Not, and he says never steal from happy people. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a good rule. Never steal from if you're gonna steal, fine, so be it, but like never steal from happy people. Molly is also go ahead.
No, I just had this small dumb thing. It's just like I love that that's insinuating that she can steal from miserable people. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, that really ties well into Molly's personality. Like Molly is like the compromiser and the one that like kind of pulls everybody together and like steps in when there's conflict. And Molly seems to know, don't ask for something that the person can't give. And like Not's going to be a thief. Like I think he understands that like one of the conditions of knowing Not is that you know a thief. So he was like, I'm not going to ask for too much. I'm going to ask for something that I might get. And when he said that, he said, never steal from happy people. Like, I understand that I'm not going to stop you from stealing altogether, but maybe I can make the world a little bit better of a place with something that maybe you'll respect and do, you know? So you see a lot of wisdom in Molly throughout this whole thing. Like Molly's like always stepping in and breaking up problems, and also finding little ways to like, I don't know, just kind of like bring people together a little bit, you know? There's a lot of conflict resolution that he does with jokes, for example, like at 2125. They're talking about how to get in, and he says, based on prior experience, the back door is always a good time. And Jester snickers, and like, it was sort of a tense moment until he says that, and then that like everybody just kind of goes with what he says. And I would argue that Molly might be the unofficial leader of the group, if only because Molly's so good at pulling people together and finding the direction that everybody can get on board with. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. We see a little hints of Molly when she's talking to Pre, that Panther woman. when Kree says to her, "Does that mean it works? The ritual? The maid you hired said something went wrong. After the burial, she absconded with your book." And Molly seems to have no idea what's going on, but the Panther Woman does. And then she also talks about calling in the Undertakers and stuff like that. Like, very, very interesting. And so, like, from that, we know that there was a ritual. We know that something went wrong with a mage that was hired by Molly. We know that there was a burial, and that the mage, I'm guessing when she says she absconded with your book, maybe the mage is the one that absconded with her book. Maybe Molly, that book is going to be relevant to Molly later, but like Molly has no idea what she's talking about. I liked the one-liner from the gentleman, "Guilty as always." Tusk Love, the tantalizing tale of hidden romance and forbidden lust. I thought that was funny that, of course, Jester knows about that book.
And that's a real book you can buy.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's super funny. Specifically that Jester is like, yeah. Akatoa talks to... I don't know if I'm saying the right name, but Akatoa sounds like the right name to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times in this episode, 7 times in this episode, he talks to Ford. He says, learn, seek, consume, learn, consume, and one other seek. I thought that was kind of interesting. Not only is he using one-word commands, but like he's generally sticking to like 4 or 5, words that he uses. I'm just glad he hasn't said like kill or something yet. At 2030, I thought it was interesting that we sort of have a bloodbender now, where they're like, we're going to take your blood, and then like Molly's the first to cut, because of course Molly's the one that's first on board with anything blood related. But I thought it was interesting that like we had someone that could bloodbend basically. I thought it was interesting that when they get there to the old tunnels, that like the soldiers aren't using them for looking for relics. They're actually just kind of using it as like a mining network. Like it looked like they were like retrieving possibly coal or some sort of mineral, but like not like artifacts or anything. At 2307, I thought it was interesting that Caleb sends Nott to disarm all those traps in that hallway. Given that the whole point of this is for Caleb to save his life, and he's demonstrating that he's risking Nott's life to get the amulet that will save his life. I get the sense, because we know that Caleb deeply loves Nott, and also that at one point he tried to abandon Nott because he thought there was too much risk. I get the sense that Caleb is not putting Nott's life over his own, even though he's risking Nott's life to protect his own life here, but that he believes he has a purpose that's more important than both of their lives. When Nott sees in the hallway the crank that he's supposed to pull to stop the traps, it was interesting to me to see that the subtitle said gears creaking as it showed the crank. Like almost implying that the crank's gears were creaking. Why did Caleb criticize Bo for not trusting Nott when she saved her life? So when Bo sees that Nott's about to get hit, she jumps in and saves her life. And as soon as she gets back, Caleb's like, you didn't trust her to do this. You don't trust anybody. It was a weird time to criticize Bo because like she did trust Nott, but when Nott was obviously going to die, she jumped in to save her. Like it didn't seem like a time that you should criticize her for not trusting her. It was a weird moment.
I don't think
that one in
Caleb
particular.
I don't think Caleb saw that. I don't think Caleb saw that Nott was in trouble, because I think Knot was pretty deep in there, and it's possible that Bo. Again, I don't know how far monks are able to see in front of them. Again, I don't even know how far. Caleb can see in front of him. But it's like possible that it's possible that Caleb did not see that Knot was in trouble, and when he saw that Bo ran in, he probably thought that she didn't trust her.
Yeah.
Not that she was running in there to save her life. It's possible that Caleb just did not see that Knot was in trouble.
That's fair. Jester at one point says, "Geez, Louise, this Nidus guy really had a thing for dragons," and the writer in me thought that might be a nod to something that will be important later on. At 30:05, those robots that come to life as the final trap reminded me a lot of the robots from Laputa, Castle in the Sky, the Miyazaki movie. Are you familiar with that?
I've seen it once.
Do you remember the robots from that?
Nope.
Let me find you a good image. I think what really hit me about it was that the robots in that movie were a combination of like pale metal, like brownish metal, and gold, bright shiny gold metal, and that they were covered in moss. And these guys sort of look like that too. I just dropped a quick image in Discord of it, but these guys reminded me in that way of it, like that they sort of had that. I know I didn't share a full body image with you there, but that one had the pieces that I thought were relevant, like the gold highlights and the brownish color and stuff like that, and the fact that they were covered in like moss. So I thought that the robots kind of reminded me of that when they came to life. Those robots in Laputa are also representative of an ancient technology in a city that glowing gems kept powered, just like these things are powered by glowing gems. So there seemed to be some Laputa Castle in the Sky influence there. Since glowing gems, I think even the same color, help things float, just like that ship floated when she put the gem in it, and also were a source of power and represented a lost technology. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this. I mean, I see the color scheme is different, the same, but it's just I don't think I would have thought this.
I thought it right away when I saw them. It was like popped right into my mind. But
Yeah, you're the only one I've heard that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like, I don't think I would have.
mm. Apparently all the treasure, like at 35:35 when Ford jumps underwater, that looked like a knot. I'm sorry, that looked like a Smaug from Lord of the Rings level of treasure, like just oceans of it. And it's mentioned very subtly at the end when Bo is handing out the treasure. It sounds like Ford is the only one that came back with any treasure, and that any treasure that they found was because Ford brought it back. So I thought it was interesting that all the underwater treasure was like, it was like maybe half of the treasure there. There was a lot of treasure on the surface too, but I just liked the like ridiculous amount of treasure that Ford swam through.
Ford didn't grab any treasure. He only grabbed the eye.
Yeah, but they mentioned later when they're talking, I don't have a time signature to prove it to you, but when Bo is at the end is handing out the bags of gold, she mentions that Ford found it all.
There's no way, because like Bo found the treasure. It's like the treasure that I thought she was giving out was the treasure she grabbed. It's like Caleb tells her to grab as much as she can. Well, let me just. I know I'm gonna go to the wagon ride to see what she says. I'm just saying, I swear, like, cause like the only thing that Floor grabbed was the eye, because, and there's no way he could have went down there and grabbed more, because they were still dealing with the guards up there and they were running away. It just seems kind of strange that if he was the one that grabbed all that treasure. Crap. Can I get subtitles, please? Am I not allowed? Hold up.
I guess we'd be around 44 minutes for that, right? Oh no. Yeah, around 44 minutes or so is like when the loot starts happening. Which is excellent because it's seconds before the commercial break, so I'm gonna have to wait like 2.5 until Amazon allows me to watch my content that I pay for again.
You can grab more loot from that lake. Well, actually, wait. It's a shame you couldn't have grabbed more loot from the lake. That doesn't make any sense because only Ford only grabbed the eye. It was like Bo up there in the ship. It was Bo that grabbed the treasure. Why was he talking to Ford?
I don't know. But it seemed like Ford got the credit with getting the one that was credited with getting all the loot.
That doesn't make any sense, man. Like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna harp on it. Just like Ford, we all ran from the treasure room because Ford came out of that lake, was about to leave, and then he had a moment of thinking that he probably shouldn't, and then they all ran. Unless there was another cave that they went into.
Mm-hmm.
I do know what you're talking about. I do remember the hoard of gold underneath the water, though, which is strange. But apparently the only thing down there that of any note that he was supposed to grab was the eye, which he did. I don't know. Maybe it was an accident. I don't. Maybe.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. At 36 minutes, we talked about this when you were talking too, but do you think that Caleb really made a mistake when he said 2 meters instead of 2.5, or do you think he was like trying to intimidate her?
The latter.
I do too. It was sort of an interesting move because then she's like trapped out there, and he's like, "Oh, looks like it's kind of scary there, huh?"
I mean, no, but he made it clear that he didn't make a mistake to her.
He didn't make it 100% clear.
I feel like he did because, like, I mean, like, because the thing, at least I could tell, as far as I could tell, because I mean, as soon as he said that, he followed that up with, "Where were you?" To me, that was as clear as you could get.
He did, but I couldn't tell if he was taking advantage of the situation that happened organically, or if he was manufacturing that.
I think, I mean, if you talk about the situation, she was in the middle of the air. I feel like he took advantage of it. I don't think he manufactured that because, I mean, like, it didn't seem like he created the platforms. The platforms are apparently already there. I think he just manufactured her being in the middle of nowhere. And when he said that, like, "Are you sure you can find your way back without my help?" Yeah, he put her in a situation where she was either going to need to tell him or she was going to take a chance. And again, it's like, I don't know if I would trust you after you nearly killed me, but it sounded like, based off the fact that he said that he was only off by 0.5 and, you know, Bo was only off of half a foot because she was still able to grab the platform. While he did that on purpose, I guess he wasn't intending to try to kill her. I guess he was trying to scare her into telling him what she was doing. Because Bo would have otherwise just said, "Screw you." It's like, I mean, he put her out there so that way she couldn't just say "screw you." Though she still could have, but then she'd be stuck in the middle of the air. But I guess he knew that she would not, like, risk her life.
Yeah. But it's a pretty risky move because he had to get across that thing, so he really did need her alive. So it did strike me as like not 100% sure thing that he risked her life just to make that point.
No, I think all he was trying to do was figure out what she was doing. And I think he knew the only way he could get her to do that was to put her in a unfortunate life or death situation. Because I mean, not keeps on saying like, he's got dry humor, which I understand because I also have dry humor, but I don't think my humor is that dry. But I mean, for him, he's like, you know, he needs to figure out what's going on. On top of that, he does say he's got trust issues. He does make that point.
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, he spent the entirety of the show, like this episode in particular, like harping on that in terms of like, you know, how like she doesn't trust people or whatever. Like, I mean, it seems like for him, for some reason, trust is a big thing. Though I don't know why he did that. He would say that and then nearly kill her. Again, for me, I don't know if I would trust you after that. Bo does. I don't think Caleb means anything by it. You know, it's just one of those things. Like it's the only way he knows how to get information. You know, like for the whole soft touch thing. Huh? I mean, like for this whole soft touch, like Caleb doesn't just know how to straight up ask people. Caleb needs to put you in a situation and then get you to tell the truth. You still reading your notes?
I'm sorry, I was giving you time to talk still.
No, I mean I was good. I said everything.
At 37:16, when Essex is talking, I'm sorry, at 37:16, when they're in that ship, I think that's an airship, not a water ship. Because it looks a lot like the one that Essex's mother was building a model of that had a gem in it, and that airship had a gem in it too. And I think it was making it float. So I think that was actually an airship. I thought that was an interesting note. We'll probably never see it again, but it was interesting. I like that they, for the second time in 2 episodes, Bo and Caleb have said the exact same thing in unison together when they say, you have got to be kidding me. At 38:42, this is just interesting little break from the fantasy genre. When those robots are moving around, for a second we get a view of what's going on from the robot's perspective itself. And the robot, it's a robot. It's a full-on robot. Like, it looks like, it kind of reminded me of Shamus, honestly. Like, the way it looked. Like, you know, like when you're playing Metroid and you see, like, things from her perspective? It looked a little bit like that to me. Like, the way it looked, it, like, had a full interface, and I thought that was sort of interesting.
I mean, Samus isn't a robot.
I know, but she's got, like, a robot interface that she's interacting with. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, just to build on my point that I was saying earlier about Molly being like the person that's always trying to bring out the best of every situation. When the guards are attacking them, you know, the robots are trying to kill everybody and the guards are attacking and the guards are just hell-bent on killing everybody. Molly says to the guard, like, the bloody things respond to sound, he whispers to it. Like, even then, like, he's trying to find the peaceful way out. And I thought that was sort of interesting.
I mean, no, I brought that up. I mean, also when he said that to that guy, he said, shut the fuck up. And then they get immediately beaten.
Yeah, they do, but it's just that moment where he's whispering that they respond to sound, like stop, you know. I thought that that was interesting. Um, it's I like the very organic way that they're building trust between the characters, including like when the boulder's about to fall on Molly and Caleb reaches over and just detonates it, and then they have a little they get the Nair animators give them a little bit of airtime to like smile at each other over that, and I thought that was really cool. Um, the way they just kind of look at each other and smile and like move on from there. So I appreciated that. Um, I found what I think is a plot error, and I think there's an explanation for it, but it felt mostly like a plot error. Um, when Ford runs in after like he sees the picture of Jester and like decides he's going to come in after all. When Ford runs in, he looks at everybody and he's trying to pretend like he's trying to act, I guess. I'm not sure why he thinks this is important to act this way, but he comes in and says something along the lines of like uh he's yelling at Knot and he's like, I can't believe like you can't even disarm a simple trap. And Knot goes along with it like he's making a distraction for everybody. But I thought it was really interesting because how did Ford know that? Like, how did Ford know that those things came to life as a result of a trap? Like, or that there was any other trap going on? It just seemed like kind of out of place to me. Like, it seemed like a plot hole.
Wouldn't you not look at those things and say they are a trap? What part of those robots moving around would not be a trap to you?
They could have just been there. Like, they could have been there, like, alive in the first place when everybody got there, for example.
He was there when they were off. When he came out of the water, they were on. I feel like, honestly, that I would jump to a trap because they weren't moving at any point when we were there to begin with. I mean, that's just me trying to think logically.
I wouldn't have looked
like
at robots trying to kill everybody and immediately thought that right there is a trap. I just wouldn't have crossed my mind. What would you think?
Oh, sorry. I mean, what would you think? I'm sorry. I want to harp on this a little bit. What would you legitimately think? What that would like? I don't understand how you would not look at giant robots trying to kill people and not say it, not think of it as a trap.
I would have thought that they were guards.
But guards.
That they were there because they were guards.
But they weren't on to begin with. How would they be guarding anything when they weren't on?
How does he know they weren't on?
They weren't glowing, and then all of a sudden they're glowing and moving.
He wasn't in the room for that. He was underwater swimming.
He was with them. He was with them before he was with them before he jumped in the water. Because like, they were in the room, like the water area. He was with them
before he jumped in the water, but they weren't in the water. They weren't in the room. They weren't in that room when he jumped in the water. I don't think. I think he jumped.
No, the room and the water are the same thing. The room with the water and the room with the like that's the same room. That's a giant room.
Are you sure?
Yes, because it was the same thing when like because when Bo and Caleb were up there in the up there before they had their little tick and tack, like they heard him jump into the water. Like he was in the same room because when he looked down, because then we see the aerial view of where the water was and him. They saw that the water was like the water where he had jumped into was in there because even Jester ran towards the water yelling Ford.
Yeah,
the water is in the same room as the because he came because the other thing too is he came out of the water and saw the robots were like killing people. He didn't just come out of the water and then walk into another room and saw that. Like it was in the same room that he came out of.
Okay, I thought he jumped in the water before they went to the next room.
No, that water area was inside the room. Because when he came out, they were being attacked. As far as I hold on, let me back up. You could be completely right. Maybe again, I still would think that, I mean, robots that were not moving or robots that just appeared. Well, another thing too is like, if the robots just appeared, that would obviously be a trap because he wouldn't have known that they were there until he came back out again. I don't know. I just feel like giant robots that are killing people to be a trap. Because even if they were guarding, like they pick something up that set off a trap, that'd still be a trap. Am I wrong? Am I speaking into the void? Am I assuming things?
I just didn't think he was there for that. That's all. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I also thought 4225. My note is just since when can Essex just teleport at will?
He's been able to. He teleport. Back when he talking about teleport himself or teleport somebody else? Because himself, he's teleported himself into. He teleported himself into the castle, I think in the first episode, and he was caught by the guard. Well, caught, quote unquote. Like the guards found him and they threw him into the room with the Trent, but he teleported into that room. And he teleported into the hallways, just didn't teleport into the room.
Oh, okay. So remember in the previous episode I was talking about how it was weird how hard Trent had to try to make the soul go into the beacon?
Yeah, I think so.
Why is it so like ridiculously easy now?
There was a reaction group that I was listening to. I think it had something to do with the fact that the beacon was open and it allowed, and it was, well, no, that was open. It was drawing the souls in, and they were trying to force a soul that hadn't been consecrated. Because I mean, when we first see the beacon, it's a ritual that they're performing. It's not just a simple like, it's not just a simple somebody dies in front of it. Because it may have looked like when his soldier had died in front of it, that it was just simple, they need to die in front of it. Because apparently his soul, for some strange reason, was consecrated by a weapon. I don't know how a weapon consecrates your soul, but that's pretty much what happened, and that's what allowed their human soul to be drawn inside the beacon. I think it has something to do with the fact that the purposes of if the soul is allowed to go in, or if the soul is not allowed to go in. But we also found out that, it doesn't need to be, I think they said that it doesn't also need to be consecrated. You can force it in there. I just think because I think the real thing about why Trent was having such a hard time with it, I think he was just trying to trick again, as a part of the whole him trying to trick Essek. Like maybe he did that on purpose. Like maybe he knew Essek wasn't going to be able to hold the door open for too long, and again, he kept on bringing in bodies for Essek to hold the door open for. I think as a way to, drain him of his energy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I could see that. And then and that's it, because my last comment was about the vultures.
But I'm just trying
that
to
was
figure,
all my notes.
No problem. I'm just trying to see something about maybe I misread the situation with the water and I thought it was in the same room. That's I'm just trying to, if I can get a picture. I saw a picture there. I guess you can mistake, but what I don't understand is like at 3029, even if it is in a different room, why is Caleb looking up with his magic eyes, looking at the ship, and there's like invisible platforms where he's looking, and meanwhile like Ford's in the background looking at Caleb, and then he walks off, and then Ford looks at the water. Like
Ford looks at the water?
yeah, Ford looks at the water. Like after Caleb, uses his magic eyes so that he sees a way up to the ship, he walks off. But then Ford looks at the water after Ford's been told to consume.
Consume.
Yeah, like at 30, 32. Uka Atoa, which I don't know. Something about that name sounds Hawaiian, but I don't think I'm right. Yeah, he looks at the water. I mean, cause he's been told to consume, and then he looks at the water. Like that seems to all be happening in the same room. Because Caleb is right in front of him before it happens. So even Ford's looking at him. I mean, that was just my that's why I when I first saw this, I assumed that everything was in the same room. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fight you about it. My impression was that wasn't there. I'd like it to not be a plot hole, so I'm kind of inclined to just want to believe you. But I don't know.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure is what makes you think it was in a different room?
I just thought that on the way there, like I said, I could be wrong. I thought on the way there they came by the water, and that caused him to jump in the water, and he kind of left everybody behind, and then the rest of them went forward from there to keep exploring, and the rest of them found the other stuff. I just don't remember it happening any other way.
I'm just gonna realize I'm just watching really quick before we end it. Yeah, 24 minutes over time.
Yeah.
I know it's
so much for stopping at 11:15.
Partially my fault. Let's see here. I mean, while this is all right, what fresh hell awaits us in this room? This is a wider version of the room. This is a giant room. Not that the water is visible from here, but I see the robots. Which, by the way, this is when they first entered this room, and then Ford's with them. He can see the robots and everything. Well, the statues, really. I mean, no one knows the robots yet. Yeah, but Ford's with them when they get out, when they make it past the Wang statue that apparently couldn't not touch. At 29:53, they're in this one frame, everybody's there, and they're in the room with the statue, along with the room in the same room that also has the ship in it that's in the wall. The airship that you called it, which actually looking at that does look more like an airship, which explains why it's in the middle of the air. That was really confusing to me at first. It really was. Why was it in the middle of the air? Huh?
I said, "There's your sign."
Yeah, it just looked really weird. It just why was it in the middle? But no, okay, but being an airship instead of an actual ship makes way more sense. So, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until my second walkthrough, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that is what's going on there, isn't it?"
Yeah, it looks like Ford walks by these statues too. Even if they were in a different room, he still walks by them. He still notices they're there. Ford is with them. I know I'm harping on it and you don't really care right now, but I'm just saying Ford is with them as they're walking through the room. Even if the water is in a different part of the room, they consider a different area. Ford is still with them. He sees he walks past the statues. I don't know. I mean, now the room underneath the water is a different room altogether. But I mean, that's not really what you're arguing here. I don't know. For me, I would just would assume everything. If it wasn't there and it was attacking people, I would consider it a trap. But
Yeah.
yeah, my mind works differently. Oh, hey, Eliza Bars, we're about to end it here, and we got rated by 4 viewers. Sorry, the 4 viewers. We're going to end this.
Aww.
We're ending it here. Tomorrow I'll be doing Stellar Blade, not Core Keeper, because Stella works odd shift this week. So, all right. After that really weird thing that I just after that, well, not rant, but tangent I went on. Good night, everybody.